At FIE, we're not just
students
and faculty.
We're not only learners
and lecturers.
We are expanding minds,
Expanding futures.
We're redefining the classroom.
We are life-changing.
eye-opening. We are a community.
Driven by our values.
That wants you.
You.
Yes, you.
To join.
Hello, and welcome to In the Field, a podcast from FIE, where we will be exploring all things study abroad. I'm Dr Heidi James-Dunbar, writer-in-residence and senior faculty, and I will be your host. Joining me today is Julie Ann Andreshak. She has been involved in international education for several decades, first as a student and then as administrator, researcher and teacher. Her experience abroad includes study in France and teaching in Poland. She served as a teacher trainer in the US Peace Corps in Morocco prior to obtaining her PhD in comparative and international education at the University of Minnesota. Julie's BA degree is in International Relations and her MS in Curriculum and Instruction, ESL. Both degrees are from the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. Julie is also a graduate of Le Cordon Bleu, London, earning her Diplôme de Cuisine. After relocating to London in 2001, Julie worked as a research fellow in widening participation and as a programme director and instructor for other study abroad and internship programmes. She has been with FIE since 2005 and is a senior faculty and has taught in the Food, Society and Culture in Britain course, as well as our experiential education courses. So Julie, that is an incredible biography with so much experience in study abroad and from your student days as well, right through your career. So what actually kind of got you interested? Like, why did you study abroad? What was your inspiration?
Yeah. Good question. I don't know how or why, but from a very early age, I wanted to be abroad. I was interested in things international, different cultures, and I looked forward to the opportunity to do something in high school. I really wanted to do Rotary or something where I was gone for a year, and that just wasn't practical in terms of my family setting and so on. But something that was a shorter experience was hopefully going to be on the cards, and it was. And with National Honor Society, I was able to go on a 3-week trip to Western Europe, and it really just propelled me into knowing for sure that being abroad, learning about different places, seeing different things, language learning, all of it was going to be a part of my future for a very long time to come. And my study abroad experience then was the next point at which I was traveling. I studied abroad in Orléans in France, and it was really at that point that I thought, this is interesting. I'd never thought about going into teaching or going into education. I was in international relations and French double major and thought something in diplomacy and politics, something in charity work, something. And it was at that point, taking classes with other international students, polishing our French, learning content in French, that I thought, I could do this thing. And so I gained my credentials in teaching English as a second language, went overseas, Poland, with UNESCO, and eventually with the US Peace Corps. And what followed from there was doing my PhD at the University of Minnesota in international education, comparative and international development education. And as part of that, my research brought me to the UK, and I've basically never left. And knowing that the experience I had was so impactful, the various experiences I had overseas, I really wanted to ensure that other people, other young people in particular, had access to experiences abroad and could feel inspired and transformed in the way that I did.
That's incredible. So it really did, it was a profound change for you. Like it changed your entire life direction and where you were going.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, education really wasn't where I thought I would end up, but I realized it had been such a big part of my life, generally higher education, but specifically study abroad, that I thought, this is where I want to remain. And at FIE in particular, I've been there, it'll be 20 years next year. So I did work for other organizations prior to that, but essentially I've been on board at FIE for quite a long time.
So what makes FIE so special, do you think? What is it that FIE offers?
I think we've got a family atmosphere. In fact, we are really a independent family business. So our chair is the wife of our late founder. So that carries on, and I think it carries into the work that we do. I like to think we're small but perfectly formed. We're not in every city in Western Europe. We're not in every city that students want to study abroad in the world, but we're in key locations with a purpose, and it allows us to create bespoke faculty-led programs, to create really interesting concentrations.
It's quite holistic, isn't it? That's what's always struck me as faculty. Like, it really is like a 360 degree kind of, like, they're adults, but there is that care right from faculty through to the resident staff, and that's what always struck me. I always thought I would love to be able to do this, except obviously being far too ancient.
Yeah, exactly right. That is part of what keeps me in it. Every time we get students starting with us, it's a new batch that are bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and you sort of relive the experience with them. And yeah, they, I think, do feel what you're saying, that we're not holding their hands unnecessarily, but the holistic support that we provide with kind of an intimate team.
Yeah. No, I think it's really important, isn't it? It's like the support's there, but they're free to kind of learn and grow. And I don't know about you, but I always feel I learn so much every time from them myself. Like, they bring something new every term. It's fantastic. Okay, so what can people expect from our podcast?
Yeah, well, we've been talking about doing this for a long time, haven't we, Heidi?
We have.
And I think the pandemic got in the way, as it did for many things. And I really want and have wanted the opportunity to showcase, for instance, our faculty. So here we have this set of people who are in some ways behind the scenes, but they really should be the focus, because study is the focus of study abroad, the educational experience, which of course extends outside of the classroom, and it's everything, right, that students are doing that is a part of their study abroad experience and a part of their informal education. But the formal education in the classroom really needs to be highlighted, and I think doing that through a series of conversations with our faculty who are doing very interesting things, interesting research. They're running other businesses or setting up festivals or collaborating with charities or writing books. And all these things, I think, contribute to the richness that we have to offer at FIE, and certainly to the experience that students end up having with us. So that's a key piece for me.
Yeah, definitely. And what's going to be lovely is that we have this space to be creative and really explore all the kinds of things we're doing, even if it's not directly academic and study abroad, but all the kind of exciting things that are the key components to what making being a citizen in this world so vital.
Absolutely.
So, on that note, we're in London, Dublin, and you get to visit these places. Do you have any city secrets? I mean, you're a foodie, so I'm guessing you got some food secrets you might want to share with us.
Yeah, absolutely. That's when I travel, whether it's for work or for pleasure, that's always a focal point for me. And yeah, we're in the cities, as I said, that students want to go to. I was most recently in Spain and also in Dublin. I was in both Madrid and Barcelona, where we're now offering programs, and it's a part of a whole lifestyle of going out, of cooking for others, of really feeling the cultural vibe through the food experiences that you have. London is, I think, kind of a contradiction, or the UK to some people, that historically food hasn't been such a central cultural focus, yet London really is one of the top world cities for food now. So you don't have to look too far. Again, markets, seeing what different cultures bring to London, and you can find high-end restaurants, street food from pretty much every country and culture. I'm a huge advocate for traditional British food as well, because when it's done well, it's amazing. So yeah, there's that foodie lens. I also think that when we're talking about our peace and conflict program, then we're spanning not only what Ireland and Northern Ireland have to offer, but also Amman, Jordan. So it's timely because the students on the program right now just arrived in Amman. So they've completed the European part of the program. And I think in a world that is unfortunately filled with conflict, getting students to focus their attention as future leaders, as the issues of the day, through the academic lens, through the historical lens, looking at the peace process in Northern Ireland, looking at the continued conflicts in the Middle East, and how we need collectively to work towards change and resolution. That's, a big part of, I think, what FIE wants to bring to the table in terms of working in the global south, working in Jordan.
Yeah, that's incredibly important. And it is those cultural competencies that we learn when we're studying abroad, where we actually see that we are connected. Like you say, we're all interconnected. That's how we resolve those issues. So any last thoughts or any sort of tips on how to really make the most of your study abroad experience? I mean, as faculty, we're going to do the work, study, read the books.
and that is such a big part of it. And in fact, when, as you know from our feedback, when we asked you what would you wish you would have done when it comes to the classroom side of things, they mostly wish they would have put more time into their studies, done a bit more reading, a bit more independent research. But there are so many things that are drawing their attention in these amazing cities and countries in which we operate. So I think it is about a balance and making sure the outside the classroom activities are meaningful, enjoyable, and that it's not just students going and ticking things off a list, and also staying in the cities that they're in as much as possible, spending the weekends there, and really just soaking in the culture, trying to meet people. It's never easy. I think when I studied abroad, I naively thought I would just have all these instant friends, and a semester isn't really that long. And when people from the host culture know that you're going to be there a short time, they don't always want to kind of commit. but finding ways through the different clubs and societies that our students have access to in London and in our other sites. So really trying to connect with other international and host country students. I think that's key. And if you leave with sort of one friend or two friends that you end up keeping in touch with for years to come, then I think that's a success.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting outside the bubble.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, absolutely key. Brilliant. Thank you so much, Julie. I look forward to talking to you more.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Heidi.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed our podcast. FIE provides life-changing study abroad experiences in the UK, Ireland and Spain. As a non-profit educational organisation, we are passionately invested in making a difference for our students as the future global leaders of tomorrow and the field of international education as a whole. The FIE podcast is a creative and academic space for exploring everything, the people, the places and opportunities that make your experience so valuable and exciting. We hope you join us again soon. Goodbye for now.
FIE. We're here to help you
Unlock a wider
brighter future.